Hello and welcome back to the LEGO Millennium Falcon Mega Build, a project that I started some 20 weeks ago now, and I'm feeling it, honestly. We're on page 326, step 873, I want to say. I'm getting vague memories that last time I lost a piece, and yes, that's just come back to me. No, I haven't searched for that piece since then. Can't see it immediately, so I'm guessing I have just full on lost it somehow. It's not under anything, is it? Oh, we'll go on, move forward, move on with our lives, try and build anew with what we have here. Code for me just scrambling for pieces. I don't know what's up. I've been just so tired recently. I think it's where the weather's changed. But the thing is, it's gone from being really, really hot to not very hot. And somehow that's made me tired. Normally it's the other way around. That's where you're energised. Maybe it's the lack of sunlight. We're already rolling nicely on this episode. I've got it moving. Recording on a Thursday. It's a strong break from tradition. Normally go on it's normally Saturday, but I've got this rolling schedule where this video, I record this every Saturday normally, and that's like the one thing, that's the last thing I need to record for the week ahead to be done. That's the general rule of it, which is a completely unsustainable rule, because when do I record everything else? And normally, I record every series in blocks of 3. So, like Minish Cap or Paper Mario at the minute, I record 3 of those at once. So, sit down, one recording session gives me 3 weeks worth of stuff. And normally, I stagger that. So, one week it'll be one, another week the other. And then there's also videos I put out on a Wednesday and Thursday. I'll often record those in sets as well, depending on the series and the video. And generally, I'm very good, and I subconsciously work out a method that sort of staggers all those, so that it never comes to like one weekend, and it's like, what have I got to record videos for every day of the week? Until recently, where that has been very much the case. I think normally what happens is I assume that I'll gain like one day in the week where I'll fancy recording something, and then I do. But because No Man's Sky has been very enjoyable, and then Monster Hunter World has been even more enjoyable, I'm kind of in a state of just playing that in my off time. For example, I had about a whole day yesterday where really I should have recorded at least one video, and instead I played Monster Hunter World for 6 hours straight, and then a further hour after that. Great game though, great game. Really enjoying it. It's annoying because I love Monster Hunter. It's great. But now I don't know if I'm going to be able to go back to the old style of Monster Hunter, because there's so much just nice stuff in it that makes it easy. For example, there's a lot of stuff they don't tell you in the game. Like what monsters are weak to, that sort of thing. And you can, this isn't in World, by the way, this is in general Monster Hunter. And what you used to do was you'd either sort of be able to assume what a monster was weak to. For example, if it was a fiery monster, it would probably be weak to water. That's quite common. Or if it was in the desert, perhaps, quite often it would be weak to fire for some reason. It's a little bit spurious thinking about it. And if they're a dragon, they'd be weak to dragon. The trick was, what you would do was you'd go and, big part of Monster Hunter is you make armor out of the skin and pelts of the monster you kill. You'd go and find out what elemental weakness that armor had, and normally the same would apply to the monster. That was the little shortcut you could use, or you could look it up online to get like exact figures. But in this game, they give you all that information within the game, and it feels sort of like a big part of the story and a sensible part of the story at that. In a method similar to the Pokédex in Pokemon, I would say, but better, more detailed. So that's a big factor. So far, I've been playing this for quite a while now, and I've at no point had to think I need to go and look this up online. Like there's not some obscure piece I need for something. It's like, well, how the hell do I get that? So no, all the information is there in the game. No external research is needed, and it's like that's a big benefit. And it's just so fun. It's just so quick. My only slight grievance with it is there's not that many monsters, but there's like 30 odd, I think, about 35, something like that, which is a lot for Monster Hunter because each one is fairly unique. There's not a huge number of subspecies in that amount, as far as I'm aware. So far, I've only come across 2: the Pink Rathian and Zeorathalos, which are like very minor subspecies of that. Particularly the Zeorathalos, I know no difference between that and the standard. That's good, getting them in. Yeah, the only thing is like that number seems small purely because the last main Monster Hunter I played was Generations, which I think was the last one that was even out here, and that had a ridiculous number of monsters. And now Generations Ultimate's coming out, and that's got even more. What it means is like each monster, generally speaking, will give you a weapon and an armor. It will always give you an armor. It may not necessarily always give you a weapon, and the weapons generally fulfill some niche. So it'll be like it will have an element to it, or maybe raw, and then affinity wise, that will be the shtick. Like you might get so when there's not many monsters, they won't double up. So like for one weapon class, there might be only one fire elemental weapon. But then when they get more monsters, they'll give you like, well, this one does a lot of fire element, but not much raw damage. This one does a lot of raw, only a little bit of fire elemental damage. This one's got slots. This one's got affinity. And it's sort of a mix, so you can really fine-tune it down. And that tends to be what you lose when there's less monsters available. But I haven't hit that point yet. I'm just at the point where I've built myself a nice set of armour. Zora Magdaros armour, to be specific. Looks very cool, looks almost exactly like a character out of Lord of the Rings. I can't say which, because it kind of looks like the Witch King, but also mixed with Sauron, and just sort of a general one of his characters is the best way I'd say it. And it's cool. It's got swords in the armor pack, which is always a nice touch. So when you have that and your weapon equipped, it's like you've got 5 or 6 swords, which is about the right number of swords you want to appear to have. Don't expect to see any videos at all in Monster Hunter World on the channel, because I don't like doing video games like that where I'm too into them, because I won't be much cop for commentary. I take them a little bit too seriously, and honestly, I'm a bit too good at them, so there's not really much to watch. There's no learning process. I already know everything already. And then it ends up being almost like I'm doing a tutorial, and I don't like doing tutorials. I haven't got the concise wherewithal to do them well, and I ramble far too much. So I went to McDonald's earlier, drive-through. Didn't want anything fancy, just a standard order. I thought, don't need a drink. That's like in the flowchart of what I'm getting at McDonald's. Step 1 is, do I want a drink? And that dictates the whole of the rest of the experience. If I do want a drink, that means I'm going down the path of I'll have a meal. Main, fries, drink. That's a meal. You're aware of this. If I don't, I go left field and I think, right, no meal. Ignore the fries. much as I like fries, I can live without them. Ignore them. Another burger thrown in there. And then probably an ice cream at the end. As sort of a dessert. So I get to a drive-through, I order. I can clearly see the guy in front of me has had sort of a bit of a mare ordering where he doesn't fully know how to order at a drive-through. So it's like, yeah, I want such and such, but I don't want it as a meal, but I want this and this. And it's like, that if you're getting so many items as a meal and some as a not, it doesn't matter what goes with what. They'll give you all the food. You just kind of sort it out yourself. So I order up. I go, yeah, give me a vast quantity of cheeseburgers and a single chicken burger. That's not what I need at all. And then I go, and these are the words I use. Can I have a Galaxy Caramel McFlurry? Fair enough. She goes, yeah, will that be all? I go, yeah, that's all, thanks. Now, the thing is, right, it hasn't come up on the order screen yet that that's been added. So she's done with her little conversation. I'm done with mine. And then it comes up on the screen and it says like honeycomb iced frappuccino or frappe or something. And I saw that. I was like, well, that's not right. And I thought quite often if it's the same price, they'll just put in any item just because it's just like, it's kind of cheating their system. You get the correct order still. It's just easier for them than going through like the whole menu of it. So I thought, well, maybe that's it. And then I saw the total price and it was different. All this happened in the space of 5 seconds, maybe. All these different thoughts going through my mind. And so I thought, okay, so well, that's wrong. I'm sat at the speaker and I'm thinking, I'm pretty sure they turn these off when they're not taking orders. So if I sort of shout out, that's not what I ordered, it will be falling on deaf ears. I thought, well, I'll wait at the pay window to do it because it wasn't a hot item. It was only like a drink they'd got wrong. I was like, they can change them out on the fly easy enough. It's not like I've made some super niche order that requires special maintenance. And then because there's a little bit of a wait for that, I was umming and ahhing in my head. I was like, do I want to go through the hassle of this? There's an outside chance the person at the window like won't speak the best English or won't be the brightest. They're not. I'm not. Both of those will never be true. They'll either not speak the best English, but they'll probably be super intelligent because they speak 8 other languages, or they may not be the brightest, but their English will be spot on. Or neither of those things will be true. There is that third option, but I was planning worst case scenarios. I wasn't. Yeah, best case scenarios is you get someone who's like, oh yeah, I thought I misheard you. Anyway, well, it's all changed. Have a nice day. Now I get to the win. Like I'm in an hour in my head thinking, do I want to go through the hassle of this? And then I was like, I might just have the thing they gave me. It's a little bit more expensive than what I ordered, but it's still quite nice. The thing stopping me was that word frappe at the end. I was thinking, does that mean it's iced coffee? Because I hate coffee. I don't want anything to do with it. I don't want the caffeine in my system. Because I don't have any caffeine in my diet. That'll be like giving crack to a monkey. It will hype me up way too much. I was like, or is it just an iced drink, which would be fine? And I finally get to the window. She goes, yeah, that'll be so much. I was like, can you just read back my order to me? I was like, I don't want to say you've got my order wrong. I'll pretend like, I don't know, something happened. And the girl serving me was American. That came out of nowhere. I was fully expecting like at that place they have a lot of like Southeast Asian workers, which is fine. Nothing against that. That's all right. I've got no problem with that. It's fine. Very polite. Do their job well. I don't care. Maybe they're not all polite. I'm not generalising. This isn't a witch hunt. Yeah, she was American, which is very, very odd. So I got it all sorted. It's like slightly confrontational in a situation, which is unusual for me. Normally I'd notice an error immediately and then plan out the many logical ways in which I would have to live with that error. Which is the sort of person I am, but I didn't, and that was a moment I was like, you've shown real growth there, Ben. You've complained at a restaurant for getting your order wrong. That's a huge step on the way to adulthood, isn't it? I actually had that again the other day at a restaurant. Oh, I've made a wheel. It does spin very nice, actually. I was at a restaurant the other day, and I might have told this actually. Well, in fact, I told parts of this story. I reckon it was the bit of a story where you order at a restaurant, the food comes, and like half the people at the table can't even notice there's a waiter bringing them food, and then the other half of the table forgets entirely that they've even ordered food, let alone what they've ordered. And then there's the negligible 1% of the table that knows what everyone's ordered and that food is indeed coming to them. It was in that when they were taking an order. It was a big group. There was a group of, say, 8 of us, roughly. Like, not a massive group by any means, like, but yeah, bigger than small. What a useless thing to say. And yeah, they took all our orders. It was fairly easy because it was just mains. There were no starters, or I think they were group starters to be specific. And then the waitress did that thing that they sometimes do in restaurants, but not always. And I do wonder why they don't always do it, where they read back your order. And the general rule is, you listen out for your order. That's how it works, isn't it? Like that's the bare minimum you need to do in that situation. And if you want to go above and beyond, you count the number of orders to make sure it roughly equates to the number of people, because that's how you can tell if anyone's been missed or if extra's been added on. That's the system you should employ. So I was listening, and I for some reason had decided to play an extra level of game in my head in this situation. I said, I'm going to listen to these orders, because I hadn't heard what everyone else had ordered. I said, I'm going to listen to these 8 meal orders, and I'm going to guess who's ordered what. Now, obviously, I had a little bit of benefit. I knew what I had ordered, and I knew what the person opposite me had ordered, and the person next to me, because I could hear them. So I only had to guess, say, 5 orders and who got them. And obviously, there's a process of elimination, isn't there? Where it's like, that guy definitely had that. This one's a toss-up between these two, but then this third item could only be them, so that narrows it down. Anyway, I played this game with myself, and as I was playing it, I was like, okay, so that's everyone. And then this additional meal pops up, and I was like, well, that could be either or. I was like, but hang on, I've already assigned everyone a meal. She's read out too many meals. But she did that, and like she got the general agreement from everyone and walked off. And I said to myself, I was like, yeah, she heard an extra meal in there, didn't she? That's going to come back in a minute, isn't it? And then, time moved on, starters came out. I forgot about this whole ordeal. And then it got to the point where they were indeed bringing the meals out. And so, yeah, they brought them all out, and then there was an extra meal, and it was like, no, didn't order that. And there's a beat, and it's like, oh, and they just take it back to the kitchen. They either find out that it was for another table, or that it was just an extra order thrown on and they do something with it, or quite probably one of the staff will eat it. If they're lucky, like that can be repurposed elsewhere. Now, something has come up. That bit I was missing last time when I was doing this piece, I now need another piece of that kind, and it's not here. 2 pieces like that missing is very unusual, and I'm thinking maybe it's in here. I regret this. There's a lot more in here than I realised, and it's 100% not in here. Seeing if I can use some substitute bits. It's possible. I might be able to get out of this situation. They're going to be the wrong shade of grey, unfortunately. I'm now thinking maybe there's another bag I failed to open. What bag number are we on? 11? Can't see anything there. Not in there. Like a good kid at Christmas, I haven't thrown all the packaging away immediately in case I've missed bits. Definitely not there. Well, it seems I'm missing some bits then. That's annoying. I can't imagine I put them in the wrong place somewhere, because I noticed. There is a chance when I come to the end of this I'll have 2 additional bits of the wrong grey. So I could just substitute them around now, I guess. I strongly regret emptying this package. this mug full of tiny bits of Lego from probably about 10 different sets now. I don't exactly know what the plan is when this mug gets full. Do you send them back to Lego and they're like they sort through them all and then just throw them in random boxes of their own? It's annoying that they're almost useful. Almost, but not quite. They're not even the spares from this set, I've just realised. I've been chucking them on the side here. Right. That's dug me out of a hole, but I will be back in that hole in not very long at all. Maybe I put one that's the wrong length somewhere? No, it just doesn't add up that these pieces aren't here. And there's nowhere they can be hiding. They'll definitely turn up though, because that's what happens every single time I make this error. But until that happens, I will blame the Lego company. Despite being an incredibly accurate and, as far as I'm aware, very friendly company. It's all about the experience. Went to see a film the other day, The Spy Who Dumped Me, which I hadn't seen any trailers for at all, and it was like an early showing of it, like before it had properly released. Which it was also a showing that was sponsored by the local Noodle Nation, which is a fast casual Chinese food store, shop, restaurant. That's the word, of places that give you hot food to eat there. And they were handing out bags of prawn crackers, a fortune cookie, and then if you wanted it, a hot little mini spring roll, which was very nice actually. Bags of fortune cookies, bags of prawn crackers, not the ideal food to give out in a cinema, as they are very loud. And like you're given a bag of prawn crackers, you're going to open it and eat it immediately, aren't you? And for whatever reason, this was a screening. When they do these special early screenings, they don't have like any adverts, so it was set to start at 8 o'clock. We walked in at 8:05. Bear it in mind, normally if a screening's at 8 o'clock, the film doesn't start until at least 8:20, maybe 8:25. Like there's ads, trailers, there's a whole heap of shit beforehand. We walked in at 8:05 and it was the title card for the film. So we walked in at the perfect time. Were it not for the 3 retards in front of us who walked in, it was dark, and suddenly they didn't know where they were sitting. And they wouldn't move out of the way so we could walk by, because I knew exactly where I was sitting. Because I always book the same seats. Like an aisle seat with the stairs to my right, because I have a bad right knee, so if it gets bad I can just stick it out in the aisle. And it's about 5 rows back. So I always know exactly where I'm going. Plus it weren't even full, so in that sort of situation, just sit anywhere the fuck you like. No one gives a shit. Is what I tell other people to do. If they were in my seat, however, I would raise hell. Right, so I've fitted that, that's good. On to the next page. I haven't really got a lot of parts left to make what seems to be a quite intricate final piece, but I'm sure they've planned this out properly. There we are. Is that right? No. One more. The film itself was so-so. Mila Kunis she was okay in it. Not great. Kate McKinnon was in it. She stole the show, as she does whatever she's in. She has a tremendous hit rate. Though I have only seen her in Ghostbusters, but she did steal the show in that. Wait, debatable. Now that I've said it out loud, Chris Hemsworth was also... Okay, Chris Hemsworth stole the show, but only the 4 scenes he was in. Other than that, she did. Without those two, in fact, if you're going to watch Ghostbusters, ignore everything except the scenes with Kate McKinnon and Chris Hemsworth in it, and you're golden. That's all you really need. That was very much the good bits of the film. I'm not saying it was a bad film because it starred women. I'm saying it was a bad film because it had bad writing, and had no need to really exist, and just wasn't overall very good. I mean, they were killing ghosts. How does that work? Wow, I've just thrown this together so fast. I'm assuming I must be incorrect. Okay, some of these white cradles. I feel I've got nothing else to say about the film. It had fairly predictable plot twists, in as much as the plot was almost the same as the plot to the film Spy, and somehow equal amounts believable, I'll say. There was definitely a MacGuffin in the film. I'm trying to think if they ever actually explained what it does. I think they did. The only trouble going into a film like that and not having seen any trailers is you almost hype yourself up a little bit for it, you think. Because I've seen nothing. It's like, well, this might be really good. Even though odds are it means it'll be average at best. Even the name made it seem like it would be average at best. I'd say average at best was how to describe it. Action comedy, not great action, not great comedy. A few funny moments, you know. Watch it on a plane. Unless Infinity War is on that plane, just watch that instead. Okay. Right. Now just a few bits of decoration to add to the top. And by few I mean one single bit of decoration. There. Without that you wouldn't know this was the Falcon at all. Is that actually it? That was actually it. Right. So this goes on like so. Just like that. Just like that. Is that how he does it? I'm trying to think. It's a reference that's incredibly old. It's comedian Tommy Cooper. Right. So, interestingly, it seems like the bits were just missing. New bag time. I can see BB-8 and I can see... Well, looks like Finn with some questionable hair. Just pile that up over there. Yeah, the good thing is those bits that were missing, they're almost entirely right on the top here. So if I ever find them later, I can actually swap them out all right. And it wouldn't be too difficult. real skill of this is knowing where to place what bags. I don't have that skill. If they announced the Fast and Furious and Transformers crossover, would that be the biggest movie ever made? It could be. So what I'm making here looks to be a lot of sections to cover up the rear end currently. Or actually what I'm making is going to be a little BB-8, which I've already got. I've got some of, but not from this set. I've gone from a different set. Our favourite Stormtrooper FN. Is it 187? 287? Something like that, isn't it? I've got the legs. It's always hardest to find the legs. You'd think they'd jump out at you. No pun intended. Where are you? I found his gun. I swear, every Lego gun ever is designed genuinely off of Han Solo's gun. Which is fine, it's a fine gun. Huh. So, they always give you two faces for Lego characters, and the two faces of Finn are Angry Scowl and Angrier Scowl. Normally they give you one happy and one angry. Wait, hang on. Oh no, he doesn't got a helmet. He has got very afro hair. Yeah, it doesn't look overly like him. His hair's too big. Oh well, the jacket's good. Set that aside. We'll go through them later. And then BB-8. I've got the body. The head should be easy to spot as it is white and orange, but it's also tiny. I'm now remembering why I've got a BB-8. It's from the BB-8, isn't it? Quite obviously. That's a tiny BB-8. You can just pop on there for now. I'm not actually going to leave that there, though. They can go over there. Right. A new phase. A new beginning. A new hope for the rebellion. Yeah. Rebellions are built on hope. Everyone knows that. We're not going to win this war by destroying what we hate. We're going to win it by saving what we love. Yes, you dumb fool. But he was going to destroy what he hated to save what he loved. God, that's a dumb line. What am I actually looking for? I don't know. It's always a risk. I just kind of lose my mind. Going slightly mad. Still in the throes of rewatching Dragon Ball. And as an anime, it's like, it's almost kicking my ass. Just because I always watch it quite late at night, and I can only normally get through like 1 or 2 episodes. And I've always got I've got a rough idea of what's coming next, but not exactly. It's good though. It's good. It's interesting because it's very much of its time. Obviously not designed for like an international release, and a lot of naked Goku in it, and like full frontal nudity from a child, no less. It's surprising to see. It's not something you ask for. It's not something you want others to sort of take note of you watching it. You wonder does this put me on a list? And you think, well, it can't. It was a big show in its day. But my God, do you wonder? All right. I think I need grey bits. Yeah. It's this kind of bit I'm holding, but a grey version. And where would they be? There's one. Where is the other? I had a cheeky little buy the other day. For a long time, I've been in need of an upgrade for my PC. Well, I wouldn't say in need. I'd say basically I'm at the point where when I buy new games, I can't quite run them on ultra. I can run them on high normally, or sometimes even only medium, which is sickening. And I know why. I need to upgrade my graphics card, or cards to be exact. Currently I run 4 980s in an SLI rig. Games that support SLI, great. Games that don't, pointless. And the amount of support for SLI is waning, to say the least. So I've been wanting to move away from that setup for a while now, as it causes more trouble than it's worth. And I said to myself, what I'll do is I'll skip the 10 series, and I'll go right to whatever's next. And then the 20 series has been announced, RTX, I think it's called. Those poor guys at Rooster Teeth, they won't know what hit them. Losing all their SEO. So yeah, 20 series got announced. I thought, okay, so I'll buy whatever's like the top one of them. 2080 Ti, I think, is the top version. Of course, then I run into the issue. It's like, all right, we're announcing this, we're releasing this and that. So yeah, now you've got to find a place to buy it. And a load of like stores sent me their thing saying, oh, this is out now, pre-order now. I was like, oh great, yeah, I'll pre-order that. I went to all their pre-order sites and it's like, yeah, it's going to be like, say, 1,200 quid or whatever. It's fine by me, I don't give a shit. I'll pay the money, you know. That's the price is the price, you know. But then they're like, and you'll get it when it's out. I was like, well, when the fuck's it out? None of them had any like release date information. I was like, I'm not pre-ordering this until you tell me when it's out. Is it out tomorrow? Is it out in 6 months? Give me a ballpark. If I pre-order this now, when the fuck are you going to charge me? Because I want the money as long as possible. And then I was like, well, normally in these situations, you're best off going like avoiding as many third-party retailers as possible and going towards the manufacturer, Nvidia. And then I was like, how do they do it again? So the way it works is they sell a Founders Edition. Now this is a little bit confusing because I don't pay strong attention to the graphics card game, and if you don't, I'm about to explain roughly how it works to you now, and you can take this info to the bank after I find it. Yeah. Basically, they make the chip, the actual sort of card itself, if you will. You can't put that in a computer and have it work. That's not how it works. That bit then has to go on essentially like a motherboard, if you will. A computer has a motherboard, you put your CPU in that, you put your graphics card in that. The guy who makes the motherboard doesn't also make the CPU. In the same way, the guy who makes the graphics card doesn't also make the whole of the graphics card. Unfortunately, they're all called graphics cards. This is best than I can explain it. That's why there'll be always slight variations. However, now Nvidia do make their own version called the Founders Edition. And basically it's what they supply, or it used to be what they would supply to like all their partners and say, here, you think you can make a better version of the cooling or a cheaper version or overclock this or whatever, go for it. Here's how we do it though. And it's like, and it transpires that was always the best version available because it's made by the company that makes it. I think it's vertical integration at its most defining of the word. What have I made? What is this? Is this a weapon? So that's what I've gone for. I pre-ordered that, and yeah, we'll see what happens. move the money around. It's been a while. I'm sure next I'll end up buying a new monitor or not some nonsense. It's like, 4K is great. Ultra wide's great. But what about 4K ultra wide and 144 hertz? I don't know if they make them yet. Or if they do make them, there's nothing that can work with them. I'm a real whore for these things, you see. It's actually my one issue with Monster Hunter World is like the textures are all over the place. And I'm told it's a bug, but it just like every now and again you'll see like there'll be a really cool environment scene and like there'll be your character or apparently the bug affects male characters and not female characters. So you'll see like a woman dressed in high resolution armor and shit and you'll be there like wearing the most muddy textured shit ever. And you'll see a monster and it's like, is that monster supposed to be covered in clay? Or is it a texture issue? So, I'm hoping they release some sort of ultra high definition texture pack. They might, you never know. If it exists, they might. Okay, so I've made this. Now pop this on this. So I've got that bit of excitement to come in a little while. I'm sure I'll forget that I brought it. Then the money will leave my account. And then I'll forget again. And then it'll be delivered. And then I'll have the headache of what to do with my 4 980 cards. I don't want to sell them. Purely because I wouldn't sell them online. So I'd sell them to a shop. At probably minimal price. But even like 50 quid each. That's still 200 quid, isn't it? I don't even know what they're worth, to be honest. They're probably worth quite a bit. They're in working order, and because they've been in SLI, there's a good chance that 2 of them are basically brand new. But how do you transport shit like that? And it's like, I don't need that headache. I'm very tempted on just using them as the basis to build some other computers. It's like, wow, graphics card's kind of one of the more expensive bits, isn't it? Or just hold on to them. Maybe something more useful will come with them. I haven't thought about it yet. My case is pretty big. Maybe I'll just leave them in there at the bottom. Have 6 graphics cards in there. So yeah, my computer. It's got 6 graphics cards. 5 graphics cards. 4 of them aren't actually hooked up, but they're in there. Behold, a flat panel. Right, let's see. A little grey lump, a less grey lump. They're all grey lumps, isn't it? The next set I buy is going to be a giant version of anything from Cloud Cuckoo Land from the Lego film, or the Unicorn Kitty. Anything bright, just full of bright colours. Lots of rainbow effects. Something that isn't entirely grey and light grey, as 90% of the sets I seem to buy, are. There we go. Yep, just flung that sky high. Right, set that aside, build something anew. Okay. Grab you in there. How many do I need? 3. And you. It's the only trouble with not having a lot going on in your life. Suddenly you realise recording these, it's like, wow, I don't do much, do I? Jesus Christ, my life is empty. I have nothing. And then you just remember that the Fantastic Four film came out and that it was so bad that you could talk about that forever if need be. I joke, but if anyone ever brings that film up, I just can't help myself but talk about how bad that is. Well, there's that one, and then all of the DC Universe films. I was going to say barring Wonder Woman, but now I'm trying, maybe not barring Wonder Woman. I could talk about them for ages, just how it's not that they're bad, that's the thing. I mean, they are bad, don't get me wrong, there's cool stuff in them, and they're definitely worth seeing. But there's so much questionable things in there. For example, in Batman v Superman, a big thing is he's looking for the white Portuguese. I'm thinking that was Batman v Superman, and yeah, because that was the boat that they smuggled in. And that's the whole joke, that the white Portuguese, it's not some criminal gang, it's the name of a boat, which is a joke from Naked Gun, like one of the great comedy spoofs. And they just allowed that to happen for the film, and you think, has no one seen Naked Gun? Did no one pick up on this? This is appalling. My God, I've got to make something very complicated now. Where did this come from? Why do I have this? Oh, I've made this wrong. I might be able to fix it without really fixing it. No, I can't. Let's see, so the grey's going to go on first, and then like that, and then... Okay, it's fine. We're fine. It's all good in the hood. Yeah, a major part of the plot is Batman hasn't seen, Bruce Wayne has never seen Naked Gun. Like, surely that would be I don't know, that's basically like not being able to solve a crossword clue, and he's the world's greatest detective. Alright, so I've already made an error on this. Not sure how that's possible. I'm mocking someone for being dumb, and I failed to put together step-by-step Lego instructions. The irony is not lost on me. Wonder Woman. Yeah, she can deflect bullets with her wrist gauntlets. Is she bulletproof? Well, yeah, but then why is she deflecting them? It doesn't matter. Don't think about it. Yeah, she stormed across no man's land. Can she fly? We're not sure. She definitely didn't fly in Wonder Woman, but we're pretty sure she was flying in Batman. Don't worry about it. Don't think about it. Don't question it. Yeah, the Flash. He's super fast. Is he as fast as Superman? No, not even slightly. So what can he do? Not a lot in this version. Our characters are too overpowered, so we have to unpower them. It's a common issue. Do it the Marvel way, where people are strong, but they can still be beaten up. For example, Thanos going toe-to-toe with the Hulk. Yeah, it's fine, he beats him, but then, you know, there's a thought that Gamora could stab him and he'd die. It's fine. Right, Grey. And Suicide Squad, Jesus Christ. The whole point of the Suicide Squad is we need a team that can defeat Superman. So what have we got on this team? We've got an Aztec god. That was our first member of the team. Okay, that's good. That's a strong start. Where are we going from there? We've got a soldier who's really good. Right. What's the thinking there? Oh, well, the Aztec god won't stay with us unless we keep the soldier. Oh, right. Sorry, you didn't say that. Okay, I'm with you. Yeah, it makes sense. Keep the soldier. Okay, yeah, that's good. Right, what next? What else have you got for me? We got this guy, Killer Croc. Yeah, he's underwater. He can swim. Okay, not great. He kept pace with our divers. Okay, all right. The divers, they had like self-propelled machines or anything like that. They were no. Oh, right. They were also carrying a heavy bomb. Right. Were they unburdened? Nope, they had scuba gear on. Okay, but he kept up with them. Yeah, definitely kept up with them. Is he super strong? He's stronger than a man, but not that much stronger. Probably the strength of 3 or 4 men, maybe 5, but not 100. Right, so Aztec gods down to Killer Croc. What else you got? Oh, we got this dude Diablo, can totally control fire, like real solid fire control. You're aware Superman is fireproof. Yeah. You remember when the Capitol building blew up and he was engulfed in flame and explosion. You remember this, yeah? And he was fine. And that oil rig he was on that also blew up, flame, smoke everywhere. And he was fine again. Right. That was classified though, so you probably didn't know about that. We'll allow that one. All right, so keep going with this team. What else have you got? We've got a man who never misses. Oh, okay. All right. Have you got him any kind of special weapons or something? Maybe a weapon that's really powerful but generally hard to aim for a normal man? No, we've given him regular guns. Not even particularly long range guns, just standard weaponry. Right, you are aware Superman is bulletproof and he can move faster than bullets. And I don't need to say any more than that, really, do I? Okay, I've made this bit. This is the team to beat Superman. That's how they spin it in the film. Bear in mind, I know in reality they're like a wet works team that's completely expendable. I get that, but this is the film we're talking about. Prior knowledge cannot be assumed. Also, we've got this woman, ex-psychologist, doctor, very intelligent, clearly. She's gone insane, and she might be quite good in a fight. It's hard to tell. Did she have any extensive training? She hung out with the Joker, went insane, then took on his life of crime. You didn't answer my question, though. What has she had a life's worth of training? No, she's quite good with a bat. Very, very attractive. That could work. Is she named Martha? Does that help? Right, so that's coming along nicely. I've got to find a lot of small little bits to add detail now. I mean, like really small, tiny. All right, let's round out this Suicide Squad. We've got this Australian man who was captured in Australia, and inexplicably they extradited to an American black site. Don't know why, don't question it. He can throw boomerangs fairly well. Some of those boomerangs, he throws them and they turn into drones, and then sometimes they explode. It's debatable whether or not the drone one is him doing the work or the fact that it's a drone and anyone could fly a drone, irregardless of the launching method. Yeah, he's on the team. Don't know why. Deadpool just came out. It's probably a factor. We won't question it. Alright, fine. Anyone else for the team? Yeah, we got this guy that can climb. He's in. Brilliant. Get him. Keep him. Slipknot, you call him. Am I missing anyone? Not many women on this team. Fuck it. Throw in. What's her name? I've missed putting on 4 little bits. Katana, the woman's so irrelevant that you forget she's in the film constantly because she's barely in the film. Who made that? Was it David Ayer? Someone, wasn't it? Who's like through all the interviews and stuff thought he'd made like a great film of like huge merit. It's like, what the hell is this? You took music from Guardians of the Galaxy, you took weird stuff from Deadpool, you had these title cards, and then the film doesn't really start until halfway through. In their defence, I quite like the first half of the film when they're just introducing characters for ages. That was actually kind of fun. And then the plot kicks off, and you're like, what the fuck is this nonsense? This is terrible. It's like a film made up of bits cut from other films. Yep. Oh, I need 2 of these. Okay. Have I made a gun? I feel like I've made a gun. Might have made a gun. That would be fine. And the whole plot of the film is them inexplicably trying to save Amanda Waller. They don't know this going in. They're just there for some sort of package. Something shoots down the helicopter. The Joker's there. Oh God, the Joker. why was he even in the film as a different... Everyone knows who the Joker is. It would have been far more effective if he wasn't in the film. You could have later found out that the Joker had been dead for ages and Harley Quinn never really got over it. And she keeps thinking she's seeing him, but he is clearly there because he has a certain effect on others. Okay, I definitely need to assemble all these pieces first because there's about 100 of them and they're all decorative. Yep, you too. What is the time? 3 o'clock. That's fine. I had sudden panic I was meant to be somewhere. I have no bearing on time these days. My hours have become exceedingly short. I finish at noon most days. It's a hard life. No, I tell you, it's the life of someone who doesn't really take any time off or holidays. Just throw that shit in like the rest of the time. Like, yeah, you going anywhere nice, Ben? No, I just take Fridays off. Just don't work Fridays ever. Yeah, it's a good way to be. Plus, I don't work that hard. You can't burn out if you never burn up. That's what they say. Early to bed, early to rise means you pretty much never see anyone at all. Couple of flat bits. Have I got anywhere close to what I'm after? Oh, just need 4 more bits. There's 1, 2. Three. If they're from this rough area, they'll continue to be from here. Where are you? Where are you? There was a Justice League episode, Justice League Unlimited. I don't know if it was called that everywhere. That was called Task Force X. And it was the Suicide Squad. But because it was a kids show, they weren't allowed to use the word suicide. That episode was infinitely better than the Suicide Squad theme movie, and it was very similar as an idea. It would have been ideal for them to do that. Just do that. That's how a lot of the Marvel films have gotten by. They've just taken the the ultimate run of the comics and just made that essentially, and it works. I'm gonna go ahead without this final piece I need because I can't find it, and no real good reason. Just that. Hoping it will appear. 1, 2. Buckle up my shoe. I got pulled into a badminton tournament the other day. I played badminton Sunday morning, 10 till 12, if you want to come along. I'm not telling you where. I finished at 12, and I knew my friend, Indian friend, was running a tournament there, and it was due to start at 12, so I knew he'd be sort of there at the time, and there'd be people around. So I was aware of that. I wasn't intending to play in said tournament, mainly because it's an Indian tournament and an Indian league for Indian players. I don't think they outright ban non-Indian players, but it's sort of like, this is ours, which is fine. It's fine. But he rocked up and he was like, Ben, I need your help. I've got someone here, young lads, their partner's injured. Can you play, please? So he's not left that, and I think it would have slightly messed up their numbers, because obviously like a knockout tournament style, you probably want like 64 people, say. And I initially said no, because I'd been playing for a few hours and I wasn't at all prepared to then play even more that day. And I hadn't made any arrangements. I hadn't had any food at all because I'm still doing the what's it called, the fasting diet, and so I hadn't had any breakfast at all that day, and I hadn't even had lunch yet. So I was like, no, if I do this, I'll die. So I said no, that was fine. Just have a little chat. Then 10 minutes later, he comes up and goes, "Look, I can't find anyone else. He's really upset. Can you please play?" I was like, fine. He's like, great. You're on in an hour. I was like, okay, that gives me time to go and get a sandwich from somewhere at least. So I went and got a sandwich. Came back, played in this tournament for about 4 or 5 hours. Turned out the guy I was playing with, he was pretty good, actually. I was surprised. I thought he was going to be useless, but he was actually good. Didn't win. Not saying they cheated, but we may have played against someone who cheated. And then they went on to do fairly well. But it wiped me out that day and left me completely exhausted. For frankly, the next few days, I barely even recovered. Where the hell is this part? It should be in this section I'm looking at. And got it. All right, there we are. Perfect. That's part. There we go. That starts us on 9:20 next time. Just a bit of general stuff. This is very complicated. There's still loads more detail to fill in on this piece. I'm not even. Yeah, there's a lot more going on. I can wait though. There's part 20. Thanks for watching. I keep there's a crossbar under this table that I keep putting my feet up on, but there's something on it, and I know what it is actually. It's a delightful set of Thunderbird's shot glasses, which there's 5 of them. I'm guessing it's the 5 Thunderbirds, and it tells you what they are on them. I don't know why they've been on that crossbar for some time. I don't drink, not that into Thunderbirds, but there they are. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.